what would you say are the best jobs for someone who speaks English? If you had to say, oh, like this job or this other job, do you think is there a good job for people who are learning English?
I think some of the best jobs are teaching jobs, obviously, but I think in the future, I think the biggest area for English speakers, in my opinion, is business, in the business world, because English has become so important in business now, especially for international businesses. After COVID-19, the international Zoom meeting has become very big. So I'm now finding that students are asking for like elocution lessons so they can pronounce, because they're having to do presentations to audiences where everybody, English is the common language, but also it's everybody's second language. And I think we all know some English accents are easier than others to understand. In the same way, now I'm in
So,
Spain, I learned my Spanish on Duolingo, and here in Andalusia, they have a different accent. So, it's more difficult, isn't it?
I
With,
see.
so I think in the future, a job will be for English speakers will be to help be a coach, like a business coach, to be able to be part of an international business and present your ideas in English in a really good way. And I suggest that because online tutoring, obviously, anything in travel, because if you've got a second language, working in the travel industry is really great. But I really think the biggest opportunity in the future is business.
I see.
Because
I
what
was
do you
thinking
think?
that. So I was thinking that that would be your answer, because I've been watching a lot of stuff in English, and for example, the high jobs are like business, this kind of business, travel, and also I'd say hotel, and of course
Mm,
I think these are the top three jobs for people who are learning English,
mm,
and as you said, it's a very demanding area, and English is important because it connects all the world together.
hmm.
So you
For
don't need,
sure.
of
And
course,
there's also, I think, in my experience as well, there are areas in the world where English is becoming super important when it wasn't 20 years ago. The Middle East, for instance, I think there's a lot of opportunity for English speakers in the Middle East because it's become almost mandatory to speak English. Even if you work in a coffee shop and you're from Saudi Arabia, you need to speak English to work there. So there's a lot of opportunity there, I think, as well.
of
The
course, of
need
course.
for English is growing, I think.
Yeah, I think probably like I don't know, maybe 20 years from now, at least 90% of the world population will be speaking English. That's what I think because it's very necessary,
Mm.
and like the jobs are demanding English, communication are demanding English. So I think
It's
you
the
have
language
to
of the
yeah.
computer, Raphael, and
Of
we're in
course,
the middle of a technological revolution, aren't we? So
yeah, the
technology is.
IA, the
What do you
IA
think of
system,
AI? Do you worry
AI,
about AI?
AI.
Because I
So
saw an advert yesterday for an AI English tutor, and you could have a conversation with a robot, and the
in fact,
robot will correct
I,
you.
I've
What do you
tried it.
think of that?
So I've tried it, and I think that's cool. And if you really do this correctly, you can learn from it. Like the
Mm,
robot. I tried the Chat GPT robot, and wow, it's precise. It doesn't make
really?
mistakes, and I
Mm,
think you can take an advantage out of it. You can learn, you can like see your mistakes. So I think it's amazing how
yeah.
an AI
The
intelligence
great
can
thing
do.
is, I think, I look at it two ways. One way, I'm never worried. I never worry with AI. Some people say, "Oh, what about me, my job? AI will," and I don't worry about that because I think other things come along. But I think as well, how lovely for people, because for a lot of people now, money is an issue. So if there is a free way, like Chat GPT is free, right? So if you can practice English
Yeah.
free, you know, I mean, it's no good for me, but I'm happy that people can still practice English, right? With even if they have no money, and that's
Uh,
what's important.
I think it's the same for example, here in Brazil. I think in every country we've got the debates about, oh, you should be speaking with a native or with a Brazilian teacher. So
Hmm.
I think the Brazilian teacher, he or she is gonna help you in some way, like he had to learn English, so he's gonna know the all the things, that the struggles that you're going through, he has gone through.
Absolutely.
So he's
Mm.
gonna help you through that. But when it comes to really like take the plunge, to like as I'm doing, I'm trying to achieve a higher level. So I think it's important to talk to natives because
Mm.
you're gonna speak, you're gonna listen to them speak like everyday English. So I think that's the difference for me. If I was like at the very beginning, starting,
Yeah.
I would go with a teacher from Brazil. But
Mm.
since I'm like advantage, I I chose Cambly.